Welcome back to your favorite show, The Discussion. I'm your host, Chelsea Okonji. This show is proudly sponsored by the Suya Spot, Canada's #1 African barbecue, serving and satisfying your suya needs from multiple locations across the GTA, including Scarborough, Toronto, Winnipeg, Woodbridge, Mississauga, Manitoba, and I've tried it myself. Let me tell you, it is amazing. I always get the same thing. I always get dishes where you can just come to your house and you don't need to pay for it. Just try it. You can also check out for more information. Go to www.thesuyaspot.com. Now, if you're just joining us, you've joined us on the GBKM network, I would like to say welcome and thank you for tuning in. You can keep up with us with the latest and the greatest and your OAPs and our hosts as well. Check for live shows and maybe get notifications on your phone or on your laptop by searching and downloading our free app. Just search GBKM on all iOS and Android devices. Download it. It's completely free. That way you won't be able to miss any shows just like this one that is happening right now. And if you're on the go, you can also keep up with our website, www.gbkm.tv or www.gbkm.com.fm. Now, for today, we have a very special guest. Our guest today is a renowned MC, actor, OAP. Some may even know him as a community builder. He is the very definition of a serial entrepreneur. Please join me in welcoming Mr. George Chukwu. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Chelsea.
How are you doing today?
I am so wonderful.
Awesome. And how has the weather and life been treating you so far?
So far, so great. We're coming out of the pandemic. Everything is just going so wonderful.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we're just going to get right into it. From your introduction, just to name a few, you are known as an MC, you are an OAP, you are a community builder, you are an actor. It's like you wear many hats. How do you do all of it?
Well, by the grace of God, you get involved in a lot of things, especially when you get involved in the community.
Yeah.
You are bound to be drawn into a whole lot of areas and a lot of fields.
Yeah.
And so basically that's what it is.
So starting with your journey as an MC, which is what most people know you as right now, how did you start? You've been in the industry for so long. How did you start this journey?
Well, some people say that you're a socialite. They call me a socialite, and it started when I was in Atlanta. So basically, wherever anything that is happening, if I'm not there, it's not happening.
It's not happening.
They say it. But anyway, I love people,
Yeah.
and I draw my energy from people. And as a result of that, I like where people gather together for a common purpose and to have fun. So.
And you've been able to translate that into such a career, even bringing it from Atlanta to Toronto. I don't think there's anyone that has been to an event that doesn't know that George Chukwu is the MC. You know that event is going to be popping, quote unquote. Able to translate that into helping out, community building, and following your passion. What challenges did you face when you were trying to start out your career?
Well, sometimes, a lot of people might not understand you or understand, the type of person you are. So they might know you from a particular area. Like, say, for instance, they see you out, you're socializing, but they don't know much about your personal life.
That's true.
I'm a very serious individual. Yes.
Definitely.
And I'm very disciplined, which a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
So, and that area of it, a lot of people think, oh, wow, he's always out, he's doing things, and,
Yeah.
but they don't know that I'm a family man with 2 sons.
Congratulations.
And so that's one challenge that you will get a lot of times. But the thing about it is people will always have their perception about you. People will always judge you without knowing who you are. But, a racehorse never look sideways. They look forward.
They look forward.
They just keep on moving.
There you go. Now, in the trajectory of your life, some people may also know you as a pastor. As you said, your faith has kept you going in various interviews that you've had. How has your faith impacted what you do right now?
Well, basically, the foundation of everything that I do is basically Christ. He is actually the one that drives, sustains, directs. If you depend on the Spirit of the living God, a lot of people might look, oh, You a pastor and you emceeing events?
It's not a very common combination to see, especially now in this age. It's like,
Exactly, they don't. But if you look at it from the standpoint of you know who you are and you know your boundaries and who you know who you trust and you know where he can let you, where the boundaries that he set for you. You know, a lot of people judge people without knowing them.
Yeah.
For me, I know who I am and I am very comfortable in my skin. That's why I don't even worry about what the next person says
next
about
person
me.
is saying.
Now, if I do something wrong, as a person, I will have to correct myself if I hear about it,
Yeah.
or somebody saying something that you're doing which might not be in line with,
Yes.
you know, certain areas, as a father, or as an individual, or as somebody who believes in Christ Jesus.
Right.
I try to model my life solely based on the directives of the Holy Spirit.
That's particularly interesting, just touching up on that a little bit more, because we don't get to see, especially pastors that are open-minded, you know, in this sense, that want to pursue a career in media and want to even be an MC. So it's interesting to see how you juggle all of that and how you have explained comfort in yourself and knowing yourself in Christ. I feel like a lot of people would have more to take away from that.
As a matter of fact, many years ago, there was an artist that was coming from Nigeria, and the pastor that I was under then heard about it,
Okay.
and he said, "Oh, you're going?" And I said, "Yes."
Okay.
And I think you should come. "Oh, no, 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 no." I said, "You don't like the guy?" "Oh, I love him."
Oh.
So I said, "So what is the problem?" "Oh, no, they're gonna see me there. I'm a pastor." I said, "Excuse me, did Jesus go to weddings?" "Oh, yeah." "Did Jesus go to Zacchaeus' house to eat?" "Yes." "Did he go to Simon's house to eat?" "Yes." "Why did they call Jesus a friend of sinners? Was it because he was with the Pharisees and the Sadducees?" I said, "You're going to choose. You know who you are. So you come into a concert, I guarantee you will help your image rather than hurting your image." And that is exactly what happened. He came there, I received him, and I brought him in, and I introduced him to the artist. And a lot of people there, the following Sunday, so many people came to his church from that particular place.
Now, I would say that is a very different thing, because there are so many people that don't believe in secular music, depending on, you know, the type of artist that you're representing and who you're going to see. But I believe that showing representation in that way is important as well. So now, I also found out that you were the vice president of the Nigerian Canadian Association for a period of time.
Yes.
What motivated you to become the vice president of the Nigerian Canadian Association?
Well, you know, in a situation like being the vice president, you are nominated most of the time. But most of the time, according to the Constitution of Nigerian Canadian Association, you run for, you know, for the position of the president and then the cabinet and all that kind of stuff. You know, so I was basically nominated to go and run under that ticket.
Okay.
But because of the way the transition and the way that it happened, because there was an ad hoc committee that was ruling, and then when we came on board, I was nominated. I was not voted in according to the Nigerian Canadian Association Constitution. So we came in to bring back the life of the organization, because for a while the organization was basically dead.
Wow.
Yes, it was dead.
And do you care to highlight some of the areas in which you impacted our community through the organization during your time or your tenure there?
You know, as a vice president, all the communities under the Nigerian Canadian Community Association is under the vice president.
Okay.
Now, but you report to the president.
Right.
So now decisions are being made by the president with the cabinet.
Okay.
So now, my position at that time was a little bit under the shadow of the president, because whatever we discuss we must have one voice when we come
When you
out.
go out.
And the president is the one that comes out and speaks the voice of the people on whatever the cabinet have decided.
Yeah.
So so in any case, all the ad hoc committees under the organization falls under the president. So if whether we are doing picnic,
Yeah.
whether we are doing any type of gathering together, planning and orchestration, everything is being done by the president himself. But every committee reports to the vice. The vice now feeds the president and lets him know what is going on under. So that's how it was. So that is part of how I was able to help out a lot, and I was very close to the president, because our president at this time was a female, which kind of worked very well with me because I know how to respect authority.
Yeah.
And therefore, I honored her position and I was able to work with her very, very well.
Awesome.
And one of the good things also, she is a communicator who would like to ask your advice at all things. So in that, we came to a common level of understanding and found a very, nice way to come together and, serve our people. And it was very good.
Awesome. Now, with everything you've mentioned, you were in that position of power. You still are as a member of the board of the NCA, and you also have a medium to disseminate information. So how do you leverage on your decision-making authority, like the power of decision-making and, the power to also disseminate information? How do you leverage on both, especially for, newcomers and welcoming people?
Well, you see, but I can shift back a little bit. There was a time that I was basically, heading the organization because the president, was out of the country for about several months.
Okay.
So basically, I was the one that was, taking the position of the president, constitutionally.
Yeah.
Which,
So
but
you were the acting president.
acting president at that time. And the beauty of that also was who the president, the way that she did it. Yes, she was not around, but I can tell you that lady, the president called me almost daily.
Wow.
So we worked together, and personally, in decision making, I still got her involved, discussed with her, and make sure that we are together, that whatever that I'm coming out publicly to say or to bring to the organization, that we are in harmony.
Yeah.
And it worked very well.
Okay.
So now, as a board member also, I am with the board of trustees or board of directors, as they may be called. And it's a very powerful, active board.
Okay.
Okay. So one major thing that we have done, and I'm learning as I have just become one of the members, is how united they are and how particular they are in making sure that the constitution of the association is what governs everything that we do. So that being the case, I now understand some of the pushbacks that I had in some decisions that I might have made originally that might not be completely in line with the Constitution. Now I am one of those that are there looking at the Constitution in every decision that is being made in the executive branch.
Yeah.
And we are also making sure, part of the reason why we do that is simply because the executive branch, they are the executioners of everything that is going on.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the legality from the government, anything that happens with the executives, they will not call the executives. It is the board of trustees or the board of directors that are responsible. So we must make sure that the executives put themselves strictly in line with the Constitution. Because if anyone messes up down there, we will be the ones held responsible. That's why they say uneasy is the head that wears the crown.
So now, with what you've explained, there was a break in communication or break in understanding where, as an executive, you were acting in the manner that you were acting, but it wasn't necessarily in line with the code of conduct. But now, as a board member, you can see how your mistakes in the past may not have been very accepted. Now, what are you doing for people that might be in this position? What are you doing to bridge that gap to ensure that there is now proper code of conduct?
See what the board of directors did during the time.
Yeah.
They will always call me to order based on the constitution of the organization. So they refer me back to it. Okay, you saying this,
Okay.
or you want to do this, but have you checked section so and so? Can we get it and read it? And when you get it and read it, that is the foundation of the organization,
Yeah.
and we cannot move away from it.
Yeah.
Therefore, even in that particular position, when you are making a decision, it taught me to go back to the constitution and make sure that whatever that I want to do or the way that I want to do it was in line with the constitution.
Right.
And that's what actually helped me as a board member right now, because what I learned as a vice president, I'm now using to make sure that the executives get in line with the constitution.
Well, thank you very much for that answer. That was brilliant. And we're going to have to take a short break right now. When we come back, we'll be discussing more with George Chukwu.
Do you want to be your own boss and make income or extra income with flexible schedule? Welcome to Keenan Courier. Keenan Courier works as a marketplace platform connecting customers who need something delivered with drivers that are willing to serve them. Courier with any vehicle, better trip allocation, and cash out your earnings whenever you want. Download our driver apps today to sign up.
Welcome back to your favorite show, The Discussion. I'm your host, Chelsea Okonji. And as you know, we have a guest, very, very enlightened guest with us, George Chukwu, as we discuss community building. So, Mr. George, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, what do we need to do as a community to be able to move forward? What is it that we need to do more of? And what is it that we need to do less of as a community?
Well, let's start from the positive.
Yeah. A good way to start.
The community, Nigerian community in Canada, or in this GTA area, we have a vast number of people here.
Yes.
That's one. But a community is people that come together for a common purpose because they have a vision, they have a goal, they will have something that they want to achieve, be it political, social, family-wise, welfare of the community. It is a group of people that come together and decide to work together for the common goal of the whole entire community. Now, in any community that you go to, you will see the passive association and active association.
Yes.
Some people don't want to get involved. There are some people want to, they want to get involved for personal purposes. Like becoming, having a position because it makes you feel like you are a person of authority. But you have people that come in with passion.
Right.
Because they want the organization, they want their people to survive, to strive, to thrive, and to make sure that the community, in wherever they are doing well and being successful. So you find those kind of people sometimes. They might be silent, they might be behind the scenes, but they are a driving force that are always making those that are active in executing whatever the decisions are, that they are in line.
Yeah.
So now, what I believe in our community, especially here in GTA or Nigeria or Canada as a whole, I believe that one of the things that we have not learned is the political system in Canada. We know it, but we don't know the ideologies of it and how to succeed with it. For instance, if you go now, this present administration, we had a Somalian who was a minister, as a matter of fact, of immigration. Now, I believe if you go back and study the background of that, you go all the way back when the Somalians came to Canada, they were able to stay together. Maybe because they were refugees, they were put in several buildings or as a community of people, and they loved one another, and they survived together, and they expanded together, and they had a vision together. So politically, they had strength.
So what is it that our community is not doing?
Exactly, that's the thing. Quite naturally here, if you ask a lot of real estate agents, Most Nigerians, when they move into communities, the first thing they will ask is how many Nigerians are here. If there are a lot of Nigerians in that community, you see them, they want to go to somewhere else. They don't want to dwell together. But they do not understand that that is the weakness that we have politically in Canada. If you go to Markham, you see a lot of Chinese people. They have political power. If you go to Vaughan, you see a lot of Italians. They have political power. If you go to Scarborough, you have a community of people that are there that are so, vibrant. Right. And if you go to Brampton, you see a lot of Asian Indians. Right. And they have political power. And they have say so. So when they put one person in there as their representative, as a representative to go and run for office, the rest will back him up. And they will put him in there and vote him in. Now, in the same manner also, if we as a people were able to come together and survive together, thrive together as if we are like having a little Nigerian here in Canada, then all of a sudden you will see people that are coming out to run for offices will have strong backing, and they will be able now to be voted in. So in their parliament, we will have MPs and we have MPPs and councillors that will represent us. Today, we have no voice in these areas. And that is one weakness that I believe, that if we can be able to love one another enough to say, we want to dwell together, whether you be Yoruba or Ibibio, from Igbo, or from what, it doesn't matter. But as Nigerians, because if you look at it, Italians, what's the population of Italy? What's the population of Jamaica? What is the population of some of these other countries that have their own little Jamaica, little Italy, little this place? And we as Nigerians, every 11 black person, the 11th black person on the earth today is a Nigerian. With a population of more than 220 million people. I know they say 200, but it's much more than that.
So numbers are not the issue, and clearly we're a lot here, especially in the GTA. What exactly is the issue then? Why don't we trust each other not to come together as a community?
You see, and that's exactly one of the major problems we have. One problem we have is, back in Nigeria, we dwell together. You see Igbos all over there in Lagos. You see Yorubas there all over. Right. We survive together because that's Nigeria. Right. But a lot of times when we come out, we have not discovered the power of our differences. Because a lot of people think that for you to complement the other person, that you gotta be similar to that person, you must like the same thing. But diversity, they say in Canada, is our strength. So Nigerians in Canada must also learn that kind of diversity that we came with from our country to this place, we come here now, we become a family of people with diverse interests and similar cultures, but different kinds of differences in the way we operate in things. But that is the way that makes the color to come out so beautiful to other people. Within us, we might have our little differences, but outside of us, we know that we have one voice, one vision, being together. We can put somebody from Yoruba or from Hausa or from Igbo and say, go and represent us, and we'll back that person 110%. That is the way we will survive in Canada here.
And I see you doing that even through your, being an MC or an actor or anything you're doing to build the community. I see you going around to different people of different ethnic groups and promoting unity, especially with someone that has the authority to disseminate information. You're promoting unity. So what would you say is the call to action for those that are at home, that are sitting down, don't know what to do and how to help the community, how to move forward? What's the call to action?
Number one is to get involved in whatever community that we're in.
Okay.
Get involved. Get involved in the school that your children are going to.
Yeah.
Get involved in the politics of the administration. Whether you as a council member, as an MP, you have them. Get involved, because when you get involved, you will understand the dynamics of how the politics works here, and then your voices will be heard. Most of the time, we are dying in silence because we don't know the power that we have as as a united people, people of one language, people of one vision. So now when you get involved in what's happening in your community, eventually, if we ever come together as a community, whatever knowledge or experience that you have gathered in where you're coming from will now help us. See, a lot of people will always say that, there is strength in number. I don't believe that.
You don't?
No, I do not.
There isn't strength in numbers.
There is no strength in number.
Clearly
if you have 1 million people and a quarter of them, 250,000 of them are going east, and the other ones are going west, and the other a quarter are going east, you cannot survive. A house divided against itself cannot survive. If you're divided, you will destroy each other. Now, there is strength in unity. Even in the Bible, it tells you that in the book of chapter 11 of Genesis, where a group of people came together and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a name for ourselves. Let's build a tower that will reach heaven. And then God looked down and said, oh, look at what these children are doing now. He came down to see what they were doing. So there is strength in unity. But if you are not united, you have to find a common common level area where all of you can agree together and say, okay, this is something we know that will help the whole entire community of Nigerians here. Therefore, we might disagree about who is the president in our country. We might disagree about, some other things. But here we have a common goal. We reach a common level of understanding that will be very beneficial to everybody in the group. And when we put our energy into that unity and that common level of understanding, and we move forward, and we make less of our differences. And that's the way that we can forge forward.
You heard that, folks at home. The way to move forward is to set aside your differences and always remember that whatever sets you apart from your fellow Nigerian only brings you together in the grand scheme of things. On that note, I'd like to say thank you very much.
Added to your show, and it's good for me to be here with you. When we lift each other up, we'll be lifted up totally in Canada and around the world.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you to our viewers who have enjoyed this lovely show. We're sure that this is not the last of you that we'll be seeing. We definitely will want to have you back on the show. Until then, we'll stay tuned. Thank you for tuning into the GBKM network. Like he said, if you haven't yet, please download our app. Just search GBKM on all iOS and Android platforms. It's free. What are you waiting for? Just search GBKM, hit download. Once you download, you'll be able to catch up with our past shows, our live shows, keep up to date with what's going on with the GBKM network, as we always have surprises for you. You can also keep up on our website by going to www.gbkm.tv or www.gbkm.fm. And that's it for today, guys. I'd like to say thank you again for joining us on the discussion. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, join in on the discussion. Remember, every conversation starts with a discussion. I'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Do you want to be your own boss and make income or extra income with flexible schedule? Welcome to Keenan Courier. Keenan Courier works as a marketplace platform connecting customers who need something delivered with drivers that are willing to serve them. Courier with any vehicle, better trip allocation, and cash out your earnings whenever you want. Download our driver apps today to sign up.